Hello and welcome to your daily dose of Satoshi's news. Today's date is Thursday, the 18th of December 2025, the year BSV comes alive. Branch your threads, expand your mind with treechat.ai or your post put on chain. Alright, let's see what we've got today. So again, there are quite a few posts I've got to get through on my feed. So I might try and whiz through those. There are some others that I might want to spend a little bit longer on, but I'll probably do a separate show for that. Just because there is actually like a lot to discuss, you know, Bitcoin manipulation, price manipulation, the corruption that's going on as to why we need Bitcoin. There is loads going on. Yeah, so we'll get to that. Cointelegraph says a US Fed pulls guidance blocking its banks from engaging with crypto 11 hours ago. What's all that about? Check this out. We've got CSW here looking absolutely ripped. He looks more ripped than Gavin Mail. Like him and his missus both looking ripped. Can you believe it? Look at that. Satoshi Nakamoto. Like getting out and about and looking fit as a fiddle. Loving that. Then we'll have a quick look at the figures. Oh, get these ready for when we get to them. There we go. See what's up with what is going down, because there's a lot of shenanigans going on in the market. Oof, historic lows. But if we look at BTC, look at this. Look, there was a massive spike there. It went up to like just 90, and then it came back down again. I think they're trying to just suppress the price of BSV, but there's nothing they'll be able to do to get rid of it. And check this out. On 365 days of Bitcoin history, on this day in 2013, the term HODL was born, thanks to a drunk Bitcoin Talk forum user. Today was the day that HODL was created. That's really funny. And then we'll finish with the Kelly Thriller countdown. Right, let's get into it.
Greg says he's Satoshi, like a cowboy in the West, riding on the blockchain that they call the very best. 1 million strong, them transactions flying free. He's acclaiming his legacy, you'll surely see.
Alright, here we go. Just reposted this. Reggie Middleton said, that is cool. He said, so Watch a Guru said, just in, Bank of America says banks will move on-chain over the next several years. Well, that's kind of like contrary to here, saying US Fed pulls guidance blocking its banks from engaging with crypto. What's going on? You know, literally they're flip-flopping around. They don't know what to do about it, which means that they haven't actually got their plans are still wishy-washy. You know, again, you know, the criminal cartel, the banking cartel, the cabal, the mafia, flip-flopping around. 1 minute it's this, next minute it's that. They just don't know what to do by the sounds of it. And check this out. I just said this is another reason why the world needs Bitcoin. Illuminati bot said, if you live in Canada, my advice is leave now. Like, these people are literally advising people to leave their car keys in their homes so that robbers can go in and rob the keys and then steal the car. Well, as somebody pointed out here, you may as well just leave your keys in your car. And they're saying, oh yeah, just leave your keys available because robbers are breaking in and they've got guns. Well, doesn't that mean that law enforcement is utterly useless here? I mean, it's ridiculous. Let's have a quick listen.
Constable Marco Ricciardi had a new message for vehicle owners who keep their fobs in Faraday pouches.
To prevent the possibility of being attacked in your home, leave your fobs at your front door. Because they're breaking into your home to steal your car. They don't want anything else. A lot of them that they're arresting have guns on them, and they're not toy guns, they're real guns. They're loaded.
That's why Galinsky says they will be installing the door stops and taking YPR's advice seriously. But she'd like more action from police as well. Constable Marco Ricciardi had a new...
Absolutely. Like, what is the point in having a police force that are this impotent? Like, literally, I mean, this is the government destroying communities on purpose because they want to bring in their totalitarian one world government, wipe out sort of 7 billion people. You know, it's just literally utterly destruction, and it's all done through their, currency creation from the central banks so they can pay the mafia to do what they want. You know, it all starts and stops with the banks. Wide Awake Media says here, sprawling expanses of land blanketed in solar panels and wind turbines as far as the eye can see. This is why the net zero zealots are so determined to get their hands on all farmland. I mean, again, you know, and the farmers are going to be responsible for any wind turbines that break, and solar panels are like really toxic and they're really expensive to get rid of, and those who own the land are going to be responsible for it. I mean, it's absolutely outrageous what's going on. Literally, they're purposely destroying the energy grid. Yeah, and again, we'll see later in some footage I've got here of them chemtrailing, literally just blocking out the sun. You know, absolutely ridiculous. This is another rabbit hole to go down. So this is to do with using seed oils to cook food with.
Saturated fat, which is things like corn oil, safflower oil, peanut oil, soybean oil. You can lower your risk. Things like corn oil, safflower oil, peanut oil, soybean oil. You can lower your risk of cardiovascular disease by up to 30%. The similar.
And again, it was they did an experiment on rats in cages, literally rubbing them with different seed oils, and it created cancer in some of the rats. It's absolutely outrageous. So again, literally, they're poisoning us as much as they can. It's outrageous. A concerned citizen here says Trump administration spends this $40 billion tech deal with the UK. So again, I mean, this is going to be probably more facial recognition bullshit. The US officials said that they were frustrated by the UK's strict approach to online safety. Make no mistake, this is a direct result of the way the British government and Keir Starmer are destroying the UK, including free speech. Yeah, I don't trust that deal at all. Don't know what's going on here. But here we've got Benjamin Netanyahu describing literally how you create Satanism, for want of a better word. Have a listen. It's outrageous.
Get somebody to blow up a bus full of children or a building full of innocent civilians. You have to grind it into their minds. You have to wash their brains and tell
I just have to pause it because of the background music.
them there's a higher cause out there. It's religious, ethnic, racial, whatever. And for that higher cause, you can disregard all the normal rules of morality.
And again, normal rules of morality. Again, this is what it says in 1 Samuel 15:3. You know, destroy everything or spare no one. Kill every man, woman, child, suckling baby, calf, camel, sheep and donkey. Spraying the skies, poisoning the land, polluting the seas. It's absolutely satanic. And he knows how to do it. And not a number said here, look at this. Again, like, look at these. Look at these chemtrails. This is absolutely ridiculous. Oh, I probably have to take the sound off there. Look, and people think that is a normal route for an airline to take. Like, they're just literally spraying certain areas, you know, and they found barium, aluminium oxide, brontium, like all sorts in it. Toxic metals to humans. This was really funny. Billboard had to be removed because people said that the kettle looked too much like Hitler. A JC Penney advert. That was really funny. Elon Musk has posted here, said from the general saying, why has Facebook allowed racism against whites only? Look at this. So Facebook's race-blind algorithm backfires in their face, finds 90% of hate speech was directed towards white people and men. Again, you know, fulfilling their satanic agenda, the Kalergi plan. Yeah, he knows it. And again, this is why the world needs Bitcoin. Starmer Out profile had said here, a British Labour politician was caught on camera discussing a £1 million bribe to help Israel move any politician that wasn't a friend, to remove any politician that wasn't a friend of Israel. Where is the independent inquiry into USAID? Where's the independent inquiry into China? Where's the independent inquiry into Brussels? Where is the independent inquiry into all of the foreign interference? Russia, Russia, Russia. Yeah, that's it. Distraction, distraction, distraction. Either ban all lobbying or sling your hooks. Yeah, I mean, it's just outrageous what's going on. But, you know, they control the banks and they control all the politicians. And again, this is what those who control the banks, you know, want. Basil the Great said here, in many European countries, you'll find nice little farm shops like this, one in the Netherlands. While people are at work on the farm, they have to trust the system where people leave money in return for goods. The third world migrants, invaders have ruined all of that. So they just literally go into the farm shop and they nick everything. Like literally, it's heartbreaking. Oh, that's right. Yeah, we can just go into somebody else's property and take everything. That's right. Take all the eggs. That's right. Take more than you need. Oh, what else do we want? That's right, just take it all. And then they'll be back for more. They're just cleaning out the entire shop. What the fuck? Honestly, I mean, this is the difference in culture. And this is what they want to destroy people's culture, so people do not cohere together. And this is another one. Check this out. So they said German girls film their way to their £58 hotel in Paris and can't believe what they see. I mean, look at the absolute state of this. Imagine going to Paris and just like having to drive down a street like that. You'd be like, what the fuck?
Du Scheiße! Ach, da hinten ist das. Jenny! Ich bin geschockt! Wir können das noch umbuchen!
An absolute third world shithole.
Also ich habe da jetzt irgendwie auch keine Worte.
That's what they want. That's what's coming. Being done by the government and orchestrated by financed by the banks. And again, you know, they need a third world war to bring about their totalitarian one world government and a new world order and fulfill their prophecy via Albert Pike. And this is what's going on here. Warmongering. This is absolutely disgraceful.
The most obvious impact on all of us will be the cost of building this resilience. Sons and daughters. This impact on all of us will be the cost of building this resilience. Sons and daughters, colleagues, veterans will all have a part to play, to build, to serve, and if necessary, to fight. And more families will know what sacrifice for our nation means.
The comments follow.
Yeah, go fuck yourself, mate.
A separate speech by Blaise Metrovelli, the head of MI6. She too raised the alarm about the...
Yeah, exactly. They're all in on it. They're just trying to warmonger. They just want to create a third world war out of nothing. Going against Russia, you're joking.
Dangers posed by Vladimir Putin's Russia.
We all continue to face the menace of an aggressive, expansionist and...
Yeah, an aggressive, expansionist NATO. Putin warned them, do not expand anymore. And it's like we already know, you know, those in charge said NATO is effectively Khazaria in drag.
Visionist Russia, seeking to subjugate Ukraine and harass NATO.
Oh, do one. It's all propaganda and bullshit. I'm livid. Absolutely livid. This is an interesting one about saying, do you still drink Starbucks? Again, yeah, they're poisoning us every way they can. Have a listen to this.
Starbucks didn't publish their ingredients for their coffee drinks. It was a mystery until I convinced a barista to show me the ingredients on the back of the bottles they were using to make menu items like their famous pumpkin spice lattes. I found out here in the United States, Starbucks was coloring their PSLs with caramel coloring level 4, an ingredient made from ammonia and linked to cancer, but using beta-carotene from carrots to color their drinks in the UK. After publishing an investigation and widespread media attention, Starbucks removed caramel coloring from all of their drinks in America and started publishing the ingredients for their entire menu.
So look, they got caught with their hands in the cookie jar, poisoning people with carcinogens and cancer-causing agents. And not a number also said here, we were led like sheep to the slaughter.
So these people that have had this vaccine, I'm sorry to tell you, you've compromised your body. You have compromised your health.
That's because they've been injecting you with mRNA. Your immune system is inextricably linked to your DNA. If you change your DNA, you fuck with your immune system badly, and that's what's happened.
And one cardiologist said, by having the jab, you've compromised your heart 100%. So
that's provided you didn't get placebo.
This is what the government has done to you. This is what the bureaucrats have done to you. You led like sheep to the slaughter. You were led like sheep to the slaughter.
Well done calling it out. Calling out. Brilliant. And again, this is another one here from Red Pill Bot. Literally going on about the executive orders that the cabal, the deep state have pushed through, basically helping themselves to your property. And have a listen.
Executive orders that have been put into place to take over our nation, to have complete control over us, to take away our rights, round us up, and put us where they want us. Here we go. Executive Order 10990 allows the government to take over all modes of transportation and control of all highways and seaports. Executive Order 10995 allows the government to seize and control the communication media. Executive Order 10997 allows the government to take over all electrical power, gas, petroleum, fuels, and minerals.
And they're not going to stop. They're literally just going to keep on going. This is how bad the situation, how dire the situation is that we're in. And Elon Musk reposted this saying, "Wise, check this out. So Hungary has moved to criminalise non-governmental organisations and other groups who assist in illegal migrants." Yeah, invading countries. Again, trying to create the fulfilled prophecy. Go against the word of God in the book of Daniel, referring to the European Union. So thou shalt not cleave, as in like the countries will maintain, or they'll still cohese, but they will retain their own language, their own cultures, their own laws, and they'll live in peace. Whereas they don't want that. They literally want the European nations to be dissolved and all come under the European Union, of which they're completely unelected. So Trump's absolutely a spot on there. And again, this is why the world needs Bitcoin. This was a shocking video. There was $93 billion vanished just 76 days before Donald Trump came into office. They're literally just like printing this shit from nothing and dishing out 93 billion vanished. Have a listen.
It's rare that I'm speechless. But I want to be sure I understood. The people running the Department of Energy for President Biden's administration shoveled $93 billion, not million, $93 billion out the door in 76 days, and it just happened to be the time between when President Trump was elected and President Biden, their boss, was leaving. Is that right?
It is correct and distasteful.
Unbelievable. I mean, literally, the level of corruption is literally on another level. But they print the shit from nothing. Print currency from nothing. All currency markets are fake. All fiat currency is fraud. So that's why. And as somebody else posted here, crooked politicians, bankers and NGOs, this is why the world needs Bitcoin. Tony Blair exposed, like how did a public servant suddenly become like a multi-millionaire, having a consultancy company, and one of the evilest politicians ever. Check this one out. So US Senate delays crypto market structure bill, the Clarity Act. I wonder why. This, the US Senate has postponed the vote on the long-awaited crypto market structure legislation to 2026. A spokesman for the Senate Banking Committee confirmed mid-December that Chairman Tim Scott will not schedule a vote this year. The delay comes despite months of bipartisan negotiations and leaves the industry facing another year of regulatory uncertainty. The postponement affects both the Clarity Act, which passed the House of Representatives in July with bipartisan support, and the competing drafts from the Banking Committee and the Agricultural Committee. Analysts now expect a full Senate debate no earlier than January 2026. However, the federal government funding crisis, well, crap, at the end of January could push crypto legislation even further back. I think they're getting cold feet. That's what I think is going on. Obviously, I haven't really got time to read that on this show. You can find the articles yourself if you want to catch up with them. And check out this. We're on historic all-time lows for a genuine Bitcoin. Absolutely crazy. What we're now top left? $19, $17.92. This was more talk about airplanes on 9/11. Again, this is why the world needs Bitcoin, so we could record absolutely everything. Because the message of the fact is these phones that they claim to be making the phone calls on 9/11, they weren't developed until 2004. They couldn't make us. They wouldn't be able to make a signal on an airplane and call down to where they were during the flight. It just doesn't make sense. And again, you know, Bitcoin would expose all of this. See, look, yeah, they're going on about like how the phone calls they just can't make phone calls at that height. They didn't have the signal. That's it, basically. And another reason why the world needs Bitcoin, Red Pill Bot said here, rich Ukrainians have elaborate parties, luxury cars, and vacation at elite resorts, as poor Ukrainian men are sent as cannon fodder. Yeah, and again, you know, they're trying to create. You know, divide within society. I mean, it's disgusting what's going on, and it's all wars are bankers' wars, and we've known that. This was an interesting one. I drop F-bombs. So Kelly said here, why are there bricks at the top of the Great Pyramid of Giza? What are they hiding? And again, so this guy scaled to the top of the pyramid, and they wanted him to delete all the footage from his GoPro, but it had already been uploaded onto the cloud, which is why he was able to do this. So what is it that they're trying to hide? Let's have a look at the top here. What is it they don't want us to see that we can see from the top? There must be something. The views of everything. History is a complete lie. They have lied to us about absolutely everything. Again, they lied to us about this as well. Facts only said this is a modern miracle. His head is healed and left absolutely no scar. Yeah, you know. Don Keith said he'd never forget the time the Australian Minister Anthony Albanese ripped off a Hollywood movie nearly word for word. Absolutely insane. Have a quick listen to this.
In Australia, we have serious challenges to solve,
and we need serious people to solve them. I promise.
Unfortunately, Tony Abbott is not the least bit interested in fixing anything. He's only interested in two things: making Australians afraid of it and telling them who's to blame for it.
I just think that Michael Douglas was much better at it than Albo.
And this is what they do. They're literally ripping the piss out of us. Illuminati bot has posted an article here from Washington Times saying a study of 99 million COVID vaccinated people finds link to brain and heart problems. Oh dear, would you believe it? Talking about price manipulation here, ex-Nobler said huge Bitcoin manipulation is happening right now. Wintermute, Binance, BlackRock and Coinbase dumped the chart to liquidate longs and then immediately dumped it. The Coinbase, they pumped the market to liquidate longs and then immediately dumped it back. Another coordinated manipulation. They control the entire market. Yeah, I remember seeing this. They're absolutely ridiculous, just liquidating the longs. And they're literally just stealing people's funds is what they're doing. Like, the entire market is illegitimate. Anybody who thinks that it's genuinely legitimate, controlled by economic forces of supply and demand, afraid not. It's controlled by those who control the creation of currency. And again, why the world needs Bitcoin, Basil the Great said, breaking Keir Starmer agrees to transfer money from the sale of Chelsea Football Club to Ukraine. What has the government got to do with that? They said an amount of £2.5 billion, which has been frozen since Roman Abramovich left the country, will now be given to Vladimir Zelensky. Honestly, absolutely disgraceful when you know how much money... That's what they use Ukraine for, just pure money laundering, although it's currency laundering, it's all fraud anyway. Absolutely outrageous. And again, they're poisoning us here. This guy points out about the most dangerous food.
The most dangerous food for the heart is not the salty, cholesterol-laden, saturated fat meat. If you want to really know what's dangerous for the heart, all you have to do is look at what mainstream tells you is dangerous and do the exact opposite. They will tell you to avoid cholesterol, saturated fat, and salt. But in fact, when you eat foods like butter, which is high in vitamin K2 and vitamin A, and you eat other foods high in fat like cheese, which is also loaded with high-quality protein and vitamin K2, you are now eating food that helps drive calcium out of the arteries. That's what vitamin K2 does. If you look at the most dangerous food for the heart that mainstream promotes as heart healthy, you get heart healthy seed oils.
Can you believe it? Literally, those substances that are most dangerous, they're the ones they're promoting as healthy. You couldn't make it up.
Promoted by the American Heart Association. And then you get heart healthy whole grain cereals like Cheerios, which is also promoted by the American Heart Association. When you consume these foods, you're going to create inflammation in the arteries because seed oils are high in omega-6. They're pro-inflammatory. And in just one little tiny bowl of Cheerios, you're literally getting about 7 teaspoons of sugar, which is going to create blood sugar problems and inflammation in the arteries.
Jeepers, there we go. So again, this is why the world needs Bitcoin, because we need to see all this on supply chains. Literally, Bitcoin will expose everything. I think there was another lady I saw who was eating some kind of like cereals, giving it to her kids because it was like promoted for kids. And the kid went and had a blood test, and they found like dangerous levels of lead in the blood because there was lead in the colouring that they were colouring the kids' cereal with. It's absolutely outrageous. And again, more of this remix news and views. They're saying this is Austria. They said that Vienna has seen incredible demographic changes, especially in the last decade. 40.9% of its population born. Over 50% have both parents born overseas. This year, for the first time ever, over half of the first graders do not understand German. I mean, what? Coming to a country near you, coming to every country in Europe. I mean, look at the state of that.
Oh my.
Like, I mean, what's the point in having your own country? Like, literally, what's the point? You have countries, you have cultures. You know, as they say, diversity is our strength. Keep it that way. And this is an absolute piss take. Check this out. So Radio Gioma said here, the UK Home Office, who controls borders. It seems like a joke, but it isn't. So this lot are in the Home Office. Look at this.
Welcome to the shit show. Every single day, a new flavor of fuckery. Welcome.
Absolute piss take. So they're the Home Office in charge of immigration. Right, well, shouldn't we have people from our country controlling immigration? Because otherwise you're just going to get other countries flooding in. Oh, that's what's happening. Check this one out. So Retail United Fin said here, all United States senators, all members of the United States House of Representatives, all state attorney generals. Dear President Trump, members of Congress and attorney generals, I'm writing on behalf of 68,000 investors affected by the abrupt U3 trading halt imposed by the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, FINRA, on Meta Materials preferred shares on December 9, 2022. This halt, followed by the deletion of the ticker on December 13, 2022, prevented shareholders from trading or settling positions ahead of a planned corporate action spin-off into the next Bridge Hydrocarbons, a private company. Many investors, including retirees, veterans, and everyday Americans, have seen significant portions of their savings trapped or diminished, with no resolution in sight after 3 years. FINRA has stated that the halt was necessary to avoid settlement disruptions and protect investors during the transition to private shares. However, serious questions remain about the timing, communication, and potential underlying issues, including allegations of excessive short selling, failures to deliver, and inadequate regulatory oversight by both FINRA and the Securities and Exchange Commission. They're corrupt as fuck is what they are. Despite congressional inquiries from members such as Representative Ralph Norman and Peter Sissons and ongoing calls for transparency, affected investors have received limited answers. Blue sheet data, freedom of information requests, and other records have raised concerns about whether all trades were properly handled and whether regulatory rules were fully adhered to. The MMTLP community, often referred to as the MMTLP Army, alongside millions of retail investors worldwide and retail united advocacy groups and numerous executives and advocates, remain committed to seeking accountability. I mean, this is outrageous that they can do this. But again, this is why the world needs to run on the Bitcoin network. So things like this can't happen, where you don't have a central point of authority or control who are literally corrupt as fuck and can do this. It's shocking. Shocking. Ex-Noblist said here, Winter Mule starts dumping BTC from cold wallets. They just sold 1.5 billion of their long-term Grapecoin holdings in 30 minutes. Insane levels of manipulation. So this is what obviously brought the price back down after that spike. Yeah, cold wallet, cold wallet, cold wallet. Just dumping the market hand over fist because I think they know what's coming. Concerned Citizen says here, you've never seen anyone lay their hands on President Trump before as the way Mark Levin does here. What do you think Trump is really thinking? Calls himself an Israeli president or something like that.
6 years ago, I was up here, and I said, this is our first Jewish president. This is our first Jewish president. This is our first Jewish president.
Unbelievable. We know what's going on. And meanwhile, in the UK, Fury as another dental practice is revealed to just now be exclusively for illegal migrants. As millions of British people sat on waiting lists, many of whom can't even get to see a dentist, yet those that have come here illegally get top priority and get it for free, courtesy of the British taxpayer. I mean, this is just, again, it's an invasion, and the government are all part of it. And Red Pill Dispenser says here, the reason you haven't heard of the Bilderberg Group is because they don't want you to know they exist. The hidden agenda and the purpose of the Bilderberg Group is to bring about undemocratic and world government. Yeah, exactly. And so they've got to divide and conquer, which is exactly what we're doing here. And German MEP Christian Andersen said here, she vows to expose the truth behind the Ursula von der Leyen's €35 billion Pfizer mRNA contracts and the infamous deleted text messages to Pfizer CEO Albert Bourla. It's one big club and you ain't in it. And Dr. David Carlin said here, look at this. This glorified sales reps for big pharma and hospitals are front-facing sales departments. When incentives reward chronic illness more than lifelong health, you get exactly what you have today. A population sicker than ever, trained to outsource its health to a pill bottle. Yeah, that's what's going on. This is why the world needs Bitcoin. And Clive Bailey said here, this issue will define the last Labour government this country will see for many years. What a legacy.
The minister sits at the dispatch box laughing away, but if the minister had had the time to go outside and engage with our farming community, then the minister might not be sitting at the dispatch box smiling away, but might have the ability to come to the dispatch box in her wind-up and give some sort of positive conclusion. Hope to those many businesses that are being impacted. As we speak, Madam Deputy Speaker, there are farmers outside once again of this chamber. And Madam Deputy Speaker, I know that they are in the public gallery as well. Why? Because of the changes that this government continues to press ahead through the family farm tax and the family business tax. And let's look.
It's outrageous what they're doing. You're literally destroying farming. It's all part of their plan. It's all part of the Agenda 2030. And London Mayor Sadiq Khan says that the Islamification and takeover of London is just a conspiracy theory. Yeah, right. But, we've all seen the newspapers where he says, when you see somebody British, white, really, in the newspaper, that is like, this doesn't represent London anymore. Yeah, they're all in on it. It is disgusting. Together said facial recognition and act on an attack on our rights. Absolutely. Claire Fox says here, it looks like the government is now trying to find legal grounds to push yet another intrusive policy that was not in the UK Labour government's manifesto. And they're all liars. They're all liars. And this woman is right. She said people are absolutely being killed by the UK government. We're on our knees. She's talking about how they're destroying everything economically. People have just got no funds for anything. And that's what you can do when you withdraw funds and take away benefits and all this crap. They're doing it with pensions. This is why the world needs Bitcoin. And Concerned Citizen said here, meanwhile in the UK, the headlines out of a once Great Britain become more ludicrous by the day. Teachers to be trained to spot early signs of misogyny in boys. Honestly, and they're young white boys in the classroom. It's outrageous. This is quite an interesting one. So Promethean Action said here, Why is the British Empire in full panic mode? It's not about missiles, it's about a boring document that just ended their financial control over America. NATO generals are screaming for war. MI6 is coming out of the shadows. Russia is calling them out. Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's fascinating, actually, that document. I'll probably do another show on that one. Another one here on parasites causing a lot of ailments that we're not told about. Quantum computing is a scam, says Kurt Wottick Jr. That's going to be another episode, which I think I'll do. And talking about doing other episodes, I got this from YouTube saying you started your channel on the 4th of August 2020, which means that you've been a creator for 1,951 days. And I've produced 1,343 videos, so just almost 300 videos behind. So if I do maybe 3 videos a day, 10 minutes, I can actually catch up. So it looks, and again, they've probably deleted shitloads of videos of mine, you know, for various reasons, which I know they have actually done. So that figures isn't quite correct, but I wonder if I can get up to 1,951. That would be pretty great. Great video here on the world as a corporation, but not once it starts running on Bitcoin, and living men and women are behind each and every single transaction on the Bitcoin blockchain, not a corporation, because there's a digital signature attached to them all. Yes, indeed. Fascinating quote here from Dennis Healy, who said here, the world events do not occur by accident. They are made to happen, whether it is to do with national issues or commerce, and most of them are staged and managed by those who hold the purse strings. And he was the UK Treasury, the UK Secretary of State for Defence from 1964 to 1970, and the Chancellor of the Exchequer from 1974 to 1979. In the UK, he knew all these false flag events and stuff. Anyway, that's a 36-minute show. I might just leave it there. Yeah, we'll come back and do these figures in a minute and do the quantum computing stuff. Yeah. So it is the 18th of December. We're on day 91 of the Kellish Weller Countdown. Stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss anything. It's going to be epic. So until then, be aware, take care, stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next one.
The king still has one more move.